Today I'll be making fettuccine al burro, the authentic Italian version of fettuccine alfredo. It is a simple yet elegant dish made with fresh pasta, butter, and Parmesan cheese, creating a creamy sauce without any cream, just pure Italian tradition. Before anything else, proper hand washing and wearing of uniforms such as apron and hairnet was followed. For our ingredients, we will be using all-purpose flour, room temperature eggs, salt, unsalted butter, grated Parmesan cheese, and ground black pepper. Here we have some of the equipment we will be using. For our mise en place, we will be preparing 400 grams of all-purpose flour, 4 room temperature eggs, and a pinch of salt for our fresh pasta, good for 4 portions. For our sauce, we will be using 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, 2 cups of grated Parmesan cheese, and freshly ground pepper and salt. We start by weighing 400 grams of all-purpose flour. You may opt to use semolina or double zero flour if available for a finer texture and elasticity on your dough. Eggs must be at room temperature for easier mixing, as cold eggs will freeze up our dough and won't knead easily. Pasta dough generally likes to be warm or at room temperature, so our flour, eggs, water, and salt should be at ambient temperature before mixing. A quick test must also be done on the egg by cracking the egg in a bowl, leaving it intact. If the egg yolk is flat and pale and egg whites are loose and watery, this means that the egg is not fresh and must be thrown away. Egg yolk must be plump, rich in color, and whites should hold their shape. Place your measured flour onto a clean work surface, preferably a wooden surface for a better result, as temperature may affect our dough. We make a well into our pile with our fingers by making a hole in the center. You want it to be relatively wide, at least 4 inches, to accommodate all your eggs. Then we add our eggs and a pinch of refined salt to the center. Don't use coarse sea salt, which will keep our dough from developing a silky smooth texture. Using a fork, break the yolks and gradually mix the flour into the eggs. Start using your fingers to mix once you feel the shape has formed for you to mix. Combine until a dough starts to form. Once combined, knead the dough vigorously for about 10 minutes until you get a smooth, elastic, and silky soft dough. Kneading the dough activates or works the glutens, the protein that gets stretchy and springy after you work with it. Gluten is what makes our pasta chewy. To test if our dough is ready, we press the dough lightly with our finger, and if the dough springs back slightly, then it's ready to rest. We then wrap the dough in plastic wrap and let it rest for 30 minutes at room temperature to relax the gluten. A pot of water was heated up in preparation for the cooking of our pasta later on. The black peppers were also grinded, and we may also prepare our parmesan to be grated for later cooking. We now take our rested dough and you may divide it into smaller portions for easier rolling. We start by flattening one portion slightly, then roll out thinly using a pasta machine or a rolling pin. We continue until the dough is thin enough that we can see our hand through it. We dust slightly with flour also to prevent sticking. Trim the edges of your dough for an even cut. Then fold the sheet gently up to 4 times and cut evenly into fettuccine strips for uniform cooking. Flour the strands and let them rest for 10 to 15 minutes before cooking. In a large bowl, add the softened butter and season with pepper. Add your fresh pasta to a large pot of salted boiling water over medium-high heat and cook, stirring occasionally for about 2 to 3 minutes or until al dente. Immediately add the cooked pasta to a large bowl of butter and toss vigorously. Don't forget to reserve 3/4 cup or 175 of pasta water for your sauce. Once the butter is fully melted, add the Parmesan cheese, toss until combined, incrementally adding pasta water as needed to melt the cheese and thin the sauce to a desired consistency. Then season with salt and pepper. Serve in a bowl with additional Parmesan cheese, black pepper to taste, and garnish it with fresh parsley if available.